Coding Learning Differences with Kimberly Lavelle. This episode is Beginner's Mindset. I think I first heard this term in yoga, but it may have also been from some mindfulness people that I follow, including Hunter Clark Fields, the Mindful Mama mentor. She definitely talks about this too, is this beginner's mindset. So this is, if you're not familiar with it, it's really having a constant beginner's mindset. And this can be applied in so many different ways. And thinking through, looking at things with beginner's eyes. So even if it's something that you're very familiar with, you've done 100 times, 1,000,000 times, it feels like, what can you see new in this moment that makes it more special? If we think about children, little ones, little toddlers are fascinated by a stick on the ground. They are enamored by the lights and sirens of a fire truck driving by. They get so interested in the way the water drips onto the ground after they've spilled some water on the table. They're so excited about every aspect of life because they are a beginner to life. Everything is new and exciting and interesting for them. And they are present in every moment and appreciating every moment because of it. So I want to encourage you today to have this beginner's mindset when it comes to your kids. So I want you to each day wonder, who is this child of mine? Who is this child of mine? And you're looking at them with fresh eyes, and you're really just focusing in on who are they today? Because they are a different person today than they were yesterday. In fact, they're a different person this evening than they were this morning. Who is this child? Some questions that can support you, especially regarding kind of the focus of the podcast and education. How do they learn best today? How does this child of mine learn best today? Today, are they learning best when I'm giving them activities to do with their hands? Today, are they learning best when we're reading books together? Today, are they learning best outside? Today, are they learning best cuddled up in their bedroom under a blanket? Today, are they learning best lying on their belly on the floor under the kitchen table? How is this child of mine learning best today? Today, what environment is best suited to their learning? Today, are they most able to learn and be engaged in their learning activities when we're outside? Are they best able to learn when they are sitting quietly at a desk in their room? Today, do they need to sit at the kitchen table in order to work on the math that they're needing to work on? What environment is best suited to my child's learning today? What is most interesting to them today? Now remember, this is all constantly changing. So many of these things are going to be true the same today as it was yesterday, but there will be a day where that same question is different. So maybe for the last 5 years, your child has been so interested in dinosaurs. They know everything about every dinosaur, but today when you bring out the dinosaur coloring sheet, they are like, I don't want to do that. I want to learn about butterflies. Well, okay then. Let's learn about butterflies, right? Their interests can change. And maybe it's not that they don't like dinosaurs still, but what are they interested in today? Do they have a new interest? Are they still interested in the things they were interested in yesterday? What are they interested in today? And it doesn't have to be a topic like dinosaurs and butterflies. It can also be, are they interested in movement, right? Moving their body. Is that what is engaging and interesting to them? Are they interested in science experiments with dumping this and watching this or building this? What is interesting to them today? What strengths are they demonstrating today? Again, might be the same as yesterday, might be the same as tomorrow, might not be. What strengths? What are they really like? I'm looking at them going, wow, you're really good at that today. What strengths are they demonstrating today? What skills are they focusing on today? So you might have skills that you want them to focus on. Are they able to focus on those? Is there something else that they're trying to focus on? And you might not be noticing if you're not looking at them with that beginner's mindset and trying to look for these things. Just observing your child. So it might be in a very young child. It might be that they are working on cutting, either with a little knife or with scissors. You might notice that they're constantly cutting, wanting to cut everything. That's a skill that they're working on. It might not be a skill you ask them to work on, but that's a skill that they're working on, and we want to foster that, right? We want to give them opportunities to foster that skill. An older child might be trying to make sense of a math concept, like fractions, and they might be doing different things with it. Notice what they're doing and how they're trying to focus that. Maybe it's something to do with writing or reading or some science activity. Or maybe it's trying to figure out how to clean the bathroom really well. Maybe it's how to ride a bicycle, how to tie complex knots, how to plant a tree and help it to grow. Right? What skills are they focusing on today? And what can you do to support that skill into developing? And that's the point of all the beginner's mindset is, who is my child? So then the next step then is, how can I then support that child where they're at today? Before I get into the takeaway, so it's funny, I feel like I'm constantly being told so many of the same things from seemingly different places, but they're all very connected. So, right, I talked about the mindfulness world and the yoga world, which are definitely very connected. But there's also the Montessori world. And I hear Montessori professionals talking about a very similar thing. In Montessori, the teachers do observations. The teachers are called the guides, and they do observations of the children. They are looking at that child with a beginner's mindset. Who is this child today? And they're not putting an agenda on any of it. When they do their observations, they're not saying, what are they interested in? They're just writing down what they see. And then later they can look at it and think, they seem to really be working on this skill. I'm going to provide them an opportunity to work on that skill. So my takeaway for you is that our children are new every day. Every day, the child in front of you is a different person than they were yesterday. And even a different person than they were a few hours ago. They're constantly growing and changing. And this is very obvious when they're babies. We can physically see them grow, and the skills that they accomplish so quickly, it's like, oh, wow, right? My youngest, with her speech right now, like, it's just like, how are you saying all these things? Like, she's every day is obviously a new person. But as our kids get older, it tends to become less obvious to us. And we start to take for granted who they are, and we forget to notice who they really are in this moment today. I also want you to think about the fact that when I'm asking you to have a beginner's mindset around your child and who your child is, I'm also going to be encouraging you to have a beginner's mindset around your growth, your development. In a previous episode, we talked about that we need to model a love of learning. So we need to be approaching the world with a beginner's mindset as a beginner sometimes, making sure that we are finding opportunities to be a beginner and learn something new that we've never learned before, with all the mistakes that go with it. And we're showing that love of learning and showing the way that we can make mistakes and do and learn from them, and it's not a big deal, right? So I also want to reinforce that concept of, right now I'm asking you to have that beginner's mindset around who is my child, as if you've never seen them before, you don't know who they are, get to know them every day. But also have a beginner's mindset in other areas of your life. And I would encourage you to try a new activity that or try to gain and learn a new skill that you don't know, you haven't learned before. So if you want some help and support in all of this, I will be running a challenge very, very soon. If you're listening live, if you're listening in the future, I'll probably run another challenge. Either way, go to yourparenthelp.com/challenge and you'll find out about the most recent, most current challenge that is happening, and you can sign up for that. And then email me, what has surprised you about your child recently? Email me, Kimberlyn@decodinglearningdifferences.com. And I cannot wait to hear from you. I'll talk to you again soon.